What's up, guys? So today we're going to be talking a little bit about the flyer nerf. While we're talking about it, I'm going to take a flight test. I'm going to go from Blue Ob on the center map to the Ice Palace at the edge of the world. Let's see how long this takes. I've done this run using the classic flyers mod with my pre-nerf stat Quetzal and Argent. The Argent was able to do it in 6 minutes and 7 seconds with 204% movement speed, and this particular weight Quetzal with 177.4% speed was able to do it in 7 minutes and 34 seconds. I'm expecting those times to be much higher with the nerfed stats. So 2 days before the last major update hit, the devs snuck in a little flyer nerf into the patch notes. They didn't tell anybody what exactly they were going to do, so a lot of people assumed it was going to be Trinodon and Quetzal nerfs, how they related to PvP. Boy, were we surprised. Going this way. So yeah, they reduced stamina, base stamina by 50%, and further reduced per level stamina, wild and tame levels, by another 50%. They increased the stamina recovery time. Didn't say by how much, but it seems like quite a bit. They don't allow stamina recovery in the air if a creature is being ridden or a player is standing on it. They took away the ability to upgrade speed altogether. They made passenger carrying weight scaling 1.0 for flyers, which means no more Anki on the platform and reduced weight to the Quetzal. But they made up for that, but that's not why we're talking about flyers today. They increased Wyvern Elemental stamina cost, and they reduced riding speed of all flyers by 10 to 30%. Now, those are the first nerf changes. They did give a very slight buff in the Mark II flyer nerf changes, but it wasn't very much. The creature that got the most upgrade in stamina was the Quetzal, and as you can see by my little blinking stamina bar there, it still wasn't very much. So just on the stamina, the values alone that we can see, not including how much faster it drains or any of that, the RGs lost 75% of their stamina, approximately. And the Quetzals lost 33% of their stamina, approximately. But when you add in how much faster stamina drains, it's a whole lot more than that. So I'm going to have to start looking for somewhere to land. But they seem to be basing all these changes around their idea that players in PvE use flyers to bypass content. That was their words. Which I don't get that at all. Sure, you can fly over all the bad crap, but you still have to go out on land dinos to do things. You're not 100% bypassing the content. You're choosing which content you want to do. If I use a flyer to get to the content more quickly, then, you know, what does that hurt? I want to go caving with some friends. Sure, hey, everybody meet up with me over at, you know, the snow cave. Alright, I'll see you in a few minutes. Now it turns into, I don't want to spend 15-20 minutes getting there, and then after we're done, 15-20 minutes getting home. Or even longer trying to do it on a land dino. Which this map is designed for flying. I mean, it's got a floating island in the middle that you have to fly to. There's no way to get there with a land dino. So, I feel like these changes are short-sighted for the game in general. It will seriously limit future maps development for sure. You won't be able to play them without having modded flyers. That shouldn't be the way the game's designed, in my opinion. You shouldn't have to have a mod to play a map. Anyway, so far we are at 5 minutes 23 seconds since we took off. Making a little bit better time than I expected. Looks like I'm going to be forced to land either on the floaty island or at the green obelisk. I don't think I can make it to the green obelisk, so yeah. Probably should land on floaty island as long as I can make it there, so I don't have to land in the swamp. But another thing this nerf seriously affects is the social aspect of the game. You know, taking a new guy some starter gear, or giving someone a dino, or loaning someone a blueprint. All they did was just add a serious time penalty to doing any of those things socially. Or meeting up with people to do things in different parts of the game. Like the caving example earlier, it just kind of ruins it. People either don't want to play at all now, or they just want to stay at base all day. Which, everybody's just going to get burnt out from that, and they won't play anymore either. I don't understand why Wildcard has this vision, and why they're sticking to it. I understand there's a lot of PvP players that have said they love these changes, but I'm sure a lot of those people are ones that already have their base set up. They've already got their high-end dinos. They've already got, you know, bred Rexes and Gigas and all that. Well, if you didn't have your flyers to begin with, you wouldn't have been able to go out and find and tame those things quite so easily. One of the things I really enjoy about the game is going out on my RG, flying around, finding new things worth taming. If I don't want them, I let other people know where they are, they can come tame them. Just kind of really kills all that for everyone. Alright, barely made it here. Now we have to wait for the stamina to recharge. Hey, this just isn't fun. Just totally took a major fun part of the game away. Not being able to level speed on flyers, just, I mean, I expected them to nerf things beyond what I would be comfortable with, but I had no idea they would go this far with it. We're coming up on 9 minutes now, flight time, and 9 minutes. Doing nothing but trying to get from A to B. Some other things they did with this was all dinos have wild points that get wasted in speed. When you tame a dino for that specific dino, it has a set speed when you tame it. And any points that get put into the speed stat don't actually do anything, so they're wasted before tame. So they took those out, and they didn't refund them, and they didn't redistribute them into any other stats. So all pre-tamed flyers lost a lot of levels and lost their torpor stat, which, you know, most high level dinos, the torpor is not really an issue, and level is sort of cosmetic. Doesn't really mean that much. But for the wyverns in particular, that higher torpor value meant the difference between winning the boss fight with your wyverns or losing the boss fight with your wyverns. And now with the greatly reduced stamina on all flyers, the new flyers actually get those points that used to be wasted redistributed. So to get some of that stamina back that they stole with the nerf, you'll have to tame all new flyers to try and find one for each type with a high points in stamina. So they pretty much ruined everybody's time they've spent breeding flyers, breeding and imprinting flyers. Which the only flyers I've personally done with breeding and imprinting were the Argents. But there was people that I play with on this server who have done Quetzals and working on tape jars and pteranodons, and it's just and every one of us spent a whole lot of time doing wyverns. And it's all just, you know, a whole lot of wasted time. There should have never even been wasted points in speed on any creature to begin with. To let it go on this long before doing anything about it is just crazy to me. Well, I might run out of stamina before I can land. Come on, just make it right there. We're almost there. Just a little bit further. Got distracted by talking. Wasn't paying attention to the super high stamina drain. Gonna make it. Woo! That was close. We're down to 71 stamina. Didn't even show up on the bar. I also did change quite a few other stats besides speed and stamina, but nothing as drastic as speed and stamina, except for on the Pteranodon. It got hit really hard. In the first nerf, they hit it really hard in the base stats, and in the second nerf, they hit it again in the leveled up stats. So I didn't personally use Pteranodons recently. I have in the past had a really nice Pteranodon, but even now, max stat bred tamed bred imprinted one would be, you know, not really worth a whole lot. did make a few positive changes though. They slightly increased health on a few of the flyers. They increased the health, the weight, and the melee on the Argent, which it desperately needed since the last time they did the all dino nerf over a year ago. I don't remember exactly how long, it was well over a year ago. They went pretty heavy-handed on the Argent. And just a regular tamed Argent was pretty weak. I spent months taming Argents, and even had some help from other people on the server to get ones with the highest stats we could possibly find, and then breed and imprint them, and then they were actually, you know, not bad. They weren't great, but they weren't bad. But now they're about worthless because they have really horrible stamina, and you can't level them in speed. Flying on an Argent, it's pretty bad. Are we gonna make it? Almost there. Guess I'll be resetting the timers on all these dire bears I never got out of here. $16 minutes and 53 seconds. So, more than twice as long as it took. With my pre-nerf Quetzal. Which, that was bad. This was terrible. Now they did buff the base speed on all the flyers to different amounts. But it's still, I mean, that's still terrible. I should have brought a bear saddle with me. I did get 12 points back that I had put into movement speed that I could put into stamina. But we were told there was going to be a Mark III to the nerf, and then they kind of went silent and haven't said anything about that in over a week. So my assumption is they did not see the feedback they wanted from the PC players, and they decided to just leave us hanging. And they're gonna try the nerf on the consoles and see how the console players feel about it. Which I can't imagine their response is gonna be any different than the PC players' response. But since everything I've seen tested about the flyers has been on the island map and completely ignoring the center map, I felt I would do some testing on the center just to show how bad it is here. So it took me almost 17 minutes, 16 minutes 53 seconds. So double that for a round trip. And all I'm doing is trying to get from A to B and back to A again. That's just wasted game time where I could actually, you know, get to the content I want to get to and do something. Makes people much less likely to actually do anything. So instead of forcing people to do content because they thought they were bypassing content before. Which, I mean, how many times do you really need to get robbed by a pego per day? I mean, come on. It's happened to everybody. It'll happen to them more in the future, no matter what they do to the flyers, so it just seems like a bad joke. So anyway, I don't think I need to do this again. This video's gotten pretty long. I was gonna do it on the Argent next, but I mean, you get the idea. More than double the time it would have taken me pre-nerf with reasonably sped up Quetzal, which was only 177, and the default on them is 136, so 12 levels into speed, that's not much. It was still pretty slow. It was too slow for my taste, but it was a weight quet, so. But I mean, this is terrible. So we took a vote on the server. It was overwhelmingly for installing the Classic Flyers mod because we don't feel like the devs know what the hell they're doing anymore. They lost their damn minds. But that's just my opinion. There seems to be not enough people giving their opinions on the flyer nerf on either the Steam forum, which is a fairly toxic mess. I wouldn't recommend going there, but the official ARC forum or on Reddit. If you like these changes, you should go post about it. If you don't like the changes, you should go post about it too. Either way, go give your constructive feedback on your feelings about the flyer changes. They said they wanted feedback, and they've kind of seemed like they've been ignoring it lately, but that doesn't mean everyone should stop giving the feedback, because then they'll think these changes are fine the way they are, or they'll change them to some way that people won't like even more. So I'll throw some links in the description for this video if you don't know where those forums are. If you're on Xbox or PS4, I'm sorry. You're gonna get stuck with these flyers like this, and you won't have any option to play on a modded server. So you should make your opinion known as well. You guys are going to be getting the update on the 24th, I believe, and yeah, I'm sorry. So, yep, I'm going to cut this video off now. It's going to take me another 10 minutes to fly back to my base. Anyway, hope you guys found this video educational, and I'll see you next time.